Example 1, determine the measure of angle B. Here we're given two sides and an angle across from one of those sides, so that's enough information for us to use the sine law to find angle B. First, we label everything, so 20.5 centimeters is going to be side A because it's across from angle A, and then the 15.5 centimeter side is going to be side B because it's across from angle B. That leaves this side to be side C. Next, we're going to write the sine law using the letters A, B, and C. So we have A over sine of angle A is equal to B over sine of angle B, which is equal to C over sine of angle C. Now to choose the two ratios that we're going to use. Obviously, we have to use the one that contains angle B since we're looking for it. And we're also going to use the one that contains angle A and side A since we know both of them. Subbing in the values, we have 20.5 over sine of 105 being equal to 15.5 over sine of angle B. Next, we cross multiply. So 20.5 times sine of angle B will equal to 15.5 times sine of 105. To get sine B by itself, we divide both sides by 20.5. And then we're going to use our calculator. So 15.5 times sine of 5 divided by 20.5 gives us a sine ratio of 0.7303. Remember to use 4 decimal places for trig ratios. Now this is the ratio. To find the angle, we take the inverse of the ratio. So taking the ratio, this inverse of sine followed by the ratio, we end up with 46.91 degrees. Example 2 is on page 315 of your textbook, and it's a word problem. It says Carl's campsite is 15.6 meters from a lake and 36 meters from a scenic lookout as shown. So this is Carl, that's the lake, that's the lookout, and he's at the campsite. The angle formed between the campsite and the lookout is 140 degrees. So this angle right here at the lake is 140 degrees. And it says Carl starts hiking from his campsite to go to the lookout. And you're asked, what is the bearing of the lookout from Carl's position? So you're looking for the angle NAC. So this right here, you're looking for this angle. That is because the definition of bearing, which is written over here, it's the angle from north, okay? It's the angle that's measured from north as you rotate clockwise. So they give you an example here of a bearing of 335 degrees. So if you start north, okay, and then rotate clockwise, you're going, start north, and then you're rotating clockwise like this, you end up over here. So this is the angle of 335 degrees. That's a bearing of 335 degrees. Okay, so if we're asked for a bearing, we have to start along the north compass direction and rotate clockwise until we get to Carl's route here. Okay, so I've redrawn the diagram here. And there's a couple things that we can notice here. We have two sides and an angle across from one of the sides. So because we have that information, that's enough for us to find an angle. We can find the angle here first, okay? And then once we have this angle here, we'll be able to use the transversal parallel theorem to get the angle here because of the Z pattern. These two horizontal lines are parallel. There's the transversal, and we have the Z pattern indicating that these alternate angles are equal. And then if we know this angle, we can find this bearing that we're asked to find because the bearing plus this angle are complementary. So our task to start is to find angle C. So we're going to label the sides. So here the 36 meter side is going to be side B because it's across from angle B. This will be side A, and then the 15.6 meter side, which is across from angle C, is side C. And now we write the sine law. A over sine A is equal to B over sine B, which is equal to C over sine C. Now when you do enough of these questions, you will realize which two of the three ratios to use right off the bat. So you don't always have to write all three out. This is just to start. So we're definitely going to be finding C, so we have to use this. And we also have angle B and side B, so we will be using this ratio and not using the one containing A. Now subbing in the values, we have 36 over sine of 140 being equal to 15.6 over sine of angle C. Cross multiplying, we'll get sine C being equal to 15.6 times sine 140 divided by 36. Okay, you're always going to be eventually dividing by what's across your unknown. So you multiply these two diagonally across and then divide by what's across your unknown. And that gives us a sine ratio that I'm going to calculate. So 15.6 sine of 140 divided by 36. And we get 0.2785. Okay, taking the inverse in the next step. At 16.17 degrees. So now that I know this is 16.17 degrees, that means this is 16.17 degrees. And the bearing, which I'll just label with theta, will be 90 minus 16.17, or 73.83 degrees. Therefore, the bearing of the lookout from Carl's position is 73.83 degrees.